Winning a racing championship is just a numbers game. Win more, earn more points, improve your average position, and give yourself a shot at a season title. But with a format that quickly eliminates drivers 4 at a time, you'll need to be good and lucky to make it through both rounds of the playoffs and be one of the final 4 that get a chance to win. So it's fitting then that the first race of round 2 of the Area Cup Series playoffs take us deep into the desert, where strategy, rolling the dice, and sometimes being outright deceiving often pay out in Sin City. Welcome to Las Vegas, and welcome to Sim TV. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined by Eric Wineland and Hunter Sleppy tonight. Eric, welcome aboard. Excited to be back here tonight for our 18th race of or 15th race of the season, race 3 of 5 of the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, Kyle. Thanks for having me on board once again. Unfortunately, no Finian tonight. We're missing you, Finian. But Area Cup's 4th trip in 4 seasons to Las Vegas. What can we see from the likes of the guys toward the top of the championship? We'll get to see that tonight, Hunter. And, man, that cut line gets tight again after the reset from the previous 2 weeks. And guys right on that cut line like Seth Noel, who is a winner this year so far. The pressure's back on again.
Yeah, he won at Chicagoland to take the pressure off him to make it into the round of 8, but now he's got to do it again, possibly to make it to the round of 4. He could point his way in, but that's never a guarantee, although with JT Poole, Connor Horn, those guys have been close to winning the last couple of races. Doug Newbigin could have a shot at winning. It could set the playoff grid back by a position or 2, and Brian Hart's only 2 points to the good. Not gonna cut it at this rate. Jake Nichols, though, looking pretty good, plus 35. He won here in Season 2 and Season 3. Looking for the three-peat here, Kyle, as we head into qualifying in just a moment.
Yeah, qualifying coming up here shortly, but while the sun is shining here in the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway, there are storms brewing all over the east coast of the United States, and that potentially could be a problem for some competitors tonight, Eric, as they might have to deal with power outages or internet disruptions or things of the sort. And it's not the kind of time, or not the time of the year that you want to have that, I guess, obstruction to your championship hopes.
Yeah, absolutely, Kyle. I mean, everything in real life matters for sim racing too. You got to have that good connection. You got to make sure that power doesn't get knocked out. Our very own Hunter Sleppy, I hope you stay here, because I know there was a tornado warning out there in eastern Pennsylvania, both hailing from Keystone State. But hopefully the weather steers clear enough for these guys, Hunter, that you and every other driver out here gets to fully participate tonight.
Yeah, Ed Robertson and I can relate to the tornado watch that's in our area. There, quite literally, just a few seconds ago, there was a fire truck blaring down my street. So it is very real out here. It's still pouring, and lights have been flickering, but gonna want to hope that it subsides until at least the checkered flag flies, and then power can go out for a few days until the next Cup race. But yeah, that's going to be an issue for some of these guys. I heard that Jake Nichols was coming in and out of the lobby, I think, a couple of times, because he's in that range of thunderstorms, and a good bit of guys are. But we'll have to see how the night plays out.
We'll have to see how the night plays out. Absolutely. Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. For only $5 a month, you can watch all Area broadcasts commercial-free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in the chat and earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise. Head to twitch.tv/Area iRacing. Heading down to the racetrack now, guys, for qualifying, which is becoming a more and more critical phase of a race evening, especially for those remaining in the championship. There are 4 drivers above the cut line, 4 below it, and where you start often will be a pretty good indicator of where you're going to finish, especially if you get caught up in dramas early in the race, Eric.
Well, the dramas happened last season. There were a couple guys in the top 10 that started well outside of it. I look at last season's Cup race, Season 3, Seth Noel and Travis Beckner started P24 and P26. So it can be done, Kyle. But the winner of the previous 2 trips, as Hunter pointed out, and snagged my stat, Jake Nichols, started 8th last season and 4th in Season 2. So qualifying up front, always a good sign. And obviously, these guys already on to the hot racetrack. Remember, 1.5 miles is the track length. 1 lap, Hunter. Try not to forget that, like I did at the Chicago race, or excuse me, the Phoenix race last week in the trucks.
Yeah, it's make it or break it on this lap. So you want to push the envelope to try and get pole time, but you don't want to push it too hard to where you're ending up in the outside wall or going below the apron, clipping the grass, because that will result in a no time. So we see the 42 of Horn slip up in turn 4. Not really a slip up, but moves up towards the outer groove and might have clipped the grass a little bit there. See if the time stands. It does.
Right to the top, a 30.258. It's the top for now. You'll notice the yellow number board, JT Poole jumps up to second place. The yellow number boards are drivers that are in the playoffs but below the cut line. The blue are drivers that are in the playoffs but above the cut line. And going into next week when we have drivers that are locked in, they will be lit up in green. Here comes Ryan Hartz, one of those above the cut line of the playoffs, and he will set down or begin his first qualifying lap. First and only.
It's going to be interesting to see what these guys decide. A lot of them choosing to get down to the line in 1 and 2, but there's a ton of bumps here at Las Vegas across 1 and 2 on the bottom there, so I would not be surprised, especially later on in the runs, to see the guys move up, migrate toward that first seam, putting the lefts on that first seam instead to avoid a lot of those bumps. Ryan Hart's through 3 and 4, nice and steady, looking great. Cuts the tri-oval portion. 30.311 puts Ryan Hart's P7. Not, I wouldn't say stellar, but solid for the 3 car. Now Seth Noel going out here to turn a lap, Hunter.
Yeah, and Seth Noel's the winner of the last 1.5 mile racetrack. And going back to Ryan Hartz, he almost had this race a season ago, got passed within the last handful of laps by Jake Nichols. Obviously going to want to rewrite that sort of history for season 4. And boys, look at the 1 car get all the way up near the outside wall, try to build up as much momentum as possible for his qualifying lap.
Yeah, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, known for being a pretty good multi-groove racetrack. You can go low, you can go high, but I think on the qualifying laps, mid to low is going to be the line you'll see. You see Seth Noel taking that middle groove through 1 and 2, and then off onto the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. You'll likely see a lower line there. While this track looks symmetrical, it is not. It has a very different line in and through 3 and 4 than it does in 1 and 2, guys.
Yeah, plus it's progressively banked, which really helps the multi-groove racing here at Las Vegas. To see what the 1 car puts down here. Our winner from Chicagoland, Pole.
Yep.
246. He's putting these guys under pressure here in the points battle for making it to the championship 4.
Here comes the 28.
He's been bringing his A game ever since the opening round of the playoffs, or the race at Chicagoland.
Well, guys, an interesting thing. Look at the top 3. They're all drivers that are below the cut line coming in, and the highest running qualifier here that is above the cut line is Ryan Hartz in 9th. That's a surprising statistic I did not think we were going to see, but as Hunter mentioned, Eric, Seth Noel has really stepped up in the playoffs here, and while he is below the cut line coming into tonight, I don't think it's by much, so he's going to be in good shape to carry on. If Chicagoland goes as this, or I guess if this goes as Chicagoland did, I use all my words at Mid-Ohio this weekend, guys, bear with me, but Seth Noel is certainly a threat tonight for sure.
I want to know who gave him a pep talk and lit a fire under him, because I want that guy as my spotter and pep talk guy. Hype me up going into the rest of these truck races. No, Seth Noel has turned it on to a tear here since the playoffs have started. And honestly, Kyle, I'm impressed that he is able to do this, because he didn't really show it in season 3. It just wasn't a great year or a great season for him. So to have the success he's already had in season 4 here late reminds me of Ricky Springer, Hunter. Didn't Ricky do this last season?
Yeah, he needed to win Talladega in order to stay inside the top 20. He already had a win of the season. He won at Talladega, and then he won the next race at, I believe it was the Indy Road Course, and that propelled him into having a shot at the championship towards the end of the season. But you see he's 2 points out of the cutoff, and I'm looking here. Before the postseason began, the last 5 regular season races, only one top 5, and that came at the Indy Oval, but he won at Chicagoland and finished 5th last week at Auto Club, and he's got a good starting spot for the time being. Still 4 minutes to go in qualifying, but he's definitely picked up the pace and getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, certainly getting hot at the right time is such a critical situation for these playoffs when they're pretty rough. We eliminate 4 drivers every 2 weeks. That is a quick elimination. You don't have a lot of time to recover at all. Each week is incredibly important. You need to have consistency. And Seth Noel, back when he won at Daytona at the beginning of the year, just barely as the caution came out ending the race, I think we all thought that might have been an outlier night, but he has proven that it is not an outlier night. And just like Ricky Springer, Eric, as you mentioned, he is really performing at the right time, and I would not put it out of the question that he is one of our final 4 contestants this year.
Yeah, I'm on board the Seth Noel train. I want to see what he can do here tonight yet as well as we watch Chris Rabel turn a time. So he did not get to the bottom here in 1 and 2 is the one thing I noticed about his lap here. See what he's able to do over here in 3 and 4 in the 29 car. He's getting pretty down there. He could have been a little more aggressive with it, but nonetheless carried a lot of speed there in that Ford Mustang with Rabel Construction on the hood. 3-4-3? No, 2-4-3.
Yeah.
That's pole.
All right, Hunter, that was a very impressive lap by Chris Rabel. Puts him on top by 0.03 of a second.
Yeah, all those guys are in white. They're not in the postseason. They're just looking to get wins, and Chris Rabel's got a good spot going for the time being. Delonte Ballard, another one, trying to claim a win on the season. Oh, and Garrick ran 5th, too. I haven't talked about him too much, but he's got a pretty fast car from what I can see. Let's see what the 21 Delonte does.
That's huge, Kyle, because that steals a bonus point from Seth Noel. Bonus points are paid out for pole position. Douglas Newbigging also getting on the track here is the 21 car of Delonte Ballard, puts it in 18th. There is James Scioli as well hitting the track. Newbigging just reset. I'm not sure if he just spun out on his warm-up lap. I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, he has not yet taken the green, so he'll get a chance to go again. Here's James Scioli, who's got the second most bonus points of anybody coming into this round. So he's got a bit of a cushion, Eric, if he wants to use it, but certainly you don't want to use it. He's got something to lean on, just like the 73 of Jake Nichols does. But with the storms that we're seeing tonight across the United States, could that be a factor? Or we already saw the 67 blinking significantly on his qualifying effort. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some drivers drop out. And James, remember, he almost found himself out of the playoffs in the first round. So you really need to keep pushing despite having all those bonus points.
Yeah, he wasn't able to make the start at Chicagoland, if I remember correctly, because he was out on vacation. Unfortunate part of the season is it falls right over the summer. P3 for the 7 car. P2. My timing in scoring and out him in third. He's tied with Noel on my screen. I'm gonna say he got third, but I guess iRacing will give him second.
Well, there's Jake Nichols, the winner of the last 2 races here at Las Vegas. Got a pretty good time going. Boy, that 73 car is always a threat here whenever we get to the 1.5 zone. See what he can do in 3 and 4.
Yeah, and for Jake Nichols, you know, it's clearly not been a bad season. He's leading the standings, but it has not been the dominant season that we saw last year. He had 8 wins and won his 9th at this track last time around as he goes only 19th fastest. He's won 3 times this year, but he is down 2 to James Scioli, who has won the most. So as far as the competition is concerned, it is closer and better than last year, and that means that Jake Nichols definitely has people to fight heading into these last 3 races.
I'm not sure why it was such a bad lap, because it looked clean, but also I believe Douglas Newbigging
Yes,
got an incident point on his lap because he has completed a lap, but it is not giving him a time, so not a good start to the night for the 71 car. The guy 10 points down from the cut coming in. Got a lot of work to do as we see Jacob Bell, mastermind here at Area. The head honcho turns a lap, puts him P18 just at the death of qualifying.
And that will wrap qualifying up just as we get into our race session here. 140 laps tonight, guys. So this one is going to last a while. There's going to be some tire wear. It is the heat of the day here at Las Vegas. This isn't going to be a night race, so that's going to change some things as well. But Eric, as we head into this race, there's a couple things that we'll have to consider from a strategy perspective, also getting onto and off of pit road. But before we get there, we will have to go through our Roasted Gems Coffee starting lineup. Race fans, start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems Coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code Area iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. So I mentioned all the strategy that we'll have to contend with, Eric. What's our fuel window look like tonight, and what's the over-under here on yellows this evening?
Yeah, you'll get a hybrid from me tonight. I'll be up here with y'all and also getting down to pit road to check in on the guys. It is about a 52 to 56 lap fuel window for these guys. So it pretty much breaks the race into thirds pretty evenly with 140 laps scheduled here tonight, pending overtime, of course. So pretty much a 2-stop the whole way, Hunter, and not too much play in the strategy. I'm not expecting anyone to think tires are going to really matter for any sort of 3-stop strategies like we saw in the truck race at Phoenix last week for the Weishart group. But 2 stops the whole way. It's all about track position here tonight.
So let's roll through our Roasted Gems Coffee starting lineup. And Hunter, why don't you roll through this with me here, and we'll skip row by row. Time to get things rolling here this evening with our Roasted Gems Coffee starting lineup. Chris Rabel on the front row. It's James Scioli that will start second in the number 7, the first playoff competitor.
In row 2, it's a pair of playoff drivers that are entering tonight below the cutoff. It's Seth Knoll going to roll off 3rd. Connor Horn on his outside in 4th.
And row 3, it's JT Poole in the number 26. He starts 5th. Garrett Grant starts 6th in the number 5 Toyota Camry.
In row 4, David Weishart going to roll off 7th, and Ricky Springer going to roll off P8.
And 9th place, it's Michael Curhan in the 24. And Greg Mitchell starts 10th in the number 2.
Ryan Hartz rolls off 11th on the grid, and alongside him is Travis Beckner in the 28, going to come out P12.
And 13th place, it's Tyler Nichols in the 41. Rafe Slate starts 14th in the number 8.
And Connor O'Krezig will roll off 15th tonight, and on his outside will be the pink, number 11 of Jordan Martin.
And behind them, it's Ryan Swan in the 67. He's had some issues with internet tonight. Jacob Bell starts 18th in the 77.
And go back to row 10, Bryce Senesac in the 09 rolls off 19th, and to his outside is Jake Nichols going to come through P20.
21st place, it's Cedric Hunter, recently eliminated from the playoffs. Starts 21st. Michael Sturgill starts 22nd in the number 17.
23rd, it is Delonte Ballard, and to his outside is Ed Robertson in the 64, going to roll off 24th.
And 25th place, it's Jonathan Cogswell in the 27 car. Ben Pierce starts 26th in the 65 Chevy Camaro.
And 27th is Cosmin Yonishiwu making his return to area, and also making his return to area, Dom DeLeo going to come out P28.
And 29th place, it's Cameron Hearn in the number 4. Douglas Newbeging in 30th in the number 71. Then it's Skylar Shackelford and Dwayne Culberson wrapping up the rest of the field here. As cars begin to roll, well, this is fitting. Eric Wineland, the broadcaster pick standings. Hunter, Finian, Eric, and Kyle in that order, although my average points per pick is right behind Hunter's, who has an average points per pick of 35.2. So, Eric, who you got winning this thing tonight?
Oh, no. I'm going to make sure you pick first, Kyle. Let's hear yours first.
Well, I am certainly singled out and highlighted for not picking the 24 of Michael Curhan. And while he will be starting in 9th place, a little bit further back than I usually pick, I will pick Michael Curhan just so I'm not highlighted next week.
Hunter, I'm going to defer to you to go second. I'll save the best for last year.
Well, I'm going to go with Jake Nichols. He's going to come from 20th in the field to 1st.
Okay, well, you definitely absolutely stole my pick, and I should have picked off first. No, I'm going to pick the driver of the number 1 car. He's hot right now. Last season, average running position in this race, 4th. Seth Noel will get it done tonight here at Las Vegas.
I like that pick a lot, actually. Here's also a look at Dom DeLeo. Got an onboard cam for Dom tonight. First time we've had that. But 140 laps, the playoffs, round 2 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. There are just 3 rounds remaining in the 2023 Area Cup Series season. Just 2 races remain after this one. Green flag, and we're racing in Sin City. James Scioli is going to lead lap 1. Powers around the outside of Chris Rabel. Here comes Connor Horn in that 42. Eric, as they head towards turn 1, a little side-by-side with David Weishart and Seth Knoll.
Already running in his average running position, Seth Noel battling for 4th away with David Weishart right here. I'm looking at that 51 car, guys. Ricky Springer just ripped the top in 1 and 2 and gained a couple spots, and here he comes around the top side.
And he's looking to make it 3 wide there on the 5 of Garrett Grant and the 2 of Greg Mitchell. Grant did not have a good initial start. Saw a little check up there on the outside lane, but Springer is locked and loaded, and he's already making moves inside the top 10.
That was very tight leaving turn 4. Almost got squeezed into the outside wall by the 5 of Garrett Grant, who's going backwards, and he is struggling big time here, Eric, on that outside lane. No rubber up there just yet.
He's going to burn the right rear off. The consensus in practice for guys was it was probably going to wear more right rear than right front, and Ricky's just kind of making it worse up there, so he's going to get back down to the middle. Connor Horn, meanwhile, Hunter has gone to the lead. That's a bonus point for a lap led for the 42.
Much needed bonus point if he's outside the cutoff line. I believe by 3 points heading into tonight, so every point matters. We look a little further back here. The 8 of Rafe Slade on the outside, trying to get alongside the 5 of Grant. Not going to be enough. Beckner's going to slot in right behind him, a playoff driver, and Springer still working on that outside groove.
Travis Beckner in that 28, again, playoff competitor. Is the aggression going to pay off for these final 3 rounds of the season? Started 12th, he's sticking to 12th right now as he tries to work over the 5 and the 8. Garrett Grant obviously going backwards here early, but trying to find where his pace was from qualifying. That put him up in 6th to start. Big push there mid-corner.
I think Garrett Grant got across the bumps pretty poorly right there. You saw him push up the racetrack and Travis just take the cut right underneath him. Oh, Garrett gets a little help from Ricky, and they're not going to try to shut the door this early in the race. A little bit of give and take right there. Good to see, but no give and take from Ricky Springer. This man in VR is still ripping the outside. I just don't know how this is going to work out. Like I said, I think he may heat up that right rear a little too much. I like this line in 1 and 2. Stay off the bumps, make it feel a little bit better. Don't push like Garrett Grant just did the previous lap around. But Ricky Springer going to try to make some progress here on the top. He's going after Greg Mitchell, who just was eliminated last week from the playoffs.
Indeed, as he's just following his teammate Rafe Slade, who's still trying to work his way around Michael Curran for the 8th position on track. Chris Rabel has now jumped up to the top spot.
Where did he come from? I mean, he started on pole, but he dropped back early, and now it's retaken the lead. You see that sideways shuffle through 1 and 2, those bumps. If you were trying to maintain that bottom lane, this next-gen car does not seem to be handling those very well. Seth Knoll has a look at James Scioli in the number 7 Roasted Gems Coffee car.
Just to give you an idea of how bad this is for Douglas Newbigin because of the poor qualifying effort. If he were to finish where he's running right now, I know we got a ton of race to go. He's 33 points out from the cut. He came in 10 out, so he's losing 23 points where he's running at right now, as he is still trying to work his way from the back. You saw Dwayne Culberson there in 32nd ripping the top, pretty much the only driver up there in 1 and 2. JT Poole, you're running in the 5th spot. Hunter, he is now a freshman at Mississippi State. Congrats to JT on the next step in life, and get to see the dorm room racing now.
Yeah, well, Ricky Bobby is not in the dorm room, but he is there in spirit.
That's what we're missing out on.
Yeah, it's honestly a shame, but he's there in spirit. He might actually be in the sim somehow, some way, but yep, JT currently running in, well, now 6th because Ricky Springer is on a rocket ship. I mean, he was on the outside of the top 10 last time we looked at him. Now he's looking for 4th from Seth Knoll.
Got his roommate in the background as well, and sim racing in college, it's a special place in my heart. That's where I started Sim TV back in my dorm room with Finney and DeCuna, who's not here tonight, but JT got a nice camera setup. See how much he's working the wheel, though, Eric? That seems to be a topic that we've been following tonight, is how much effort you have to put into keeping the car straight. Looks a little bit loose tonight, or just drivers struggling with the bumps here. It's not quite as settled as I think they'd like it to be.
Yeah, I'll give you a little insider report there for the 26 as well. If you noticed, new equipment. He's got new sim racing equipment. There was a little sale, I think he said, for Fanatec. So I love the color change on the wheel where it's indexed. You get the red line when he gets up there in the revs at the end of the straightaways. But meanwhile, James Scioli up the track. JT Poole going to take advantage to the bottom as Connor Horn slid by. Ricky Springer is moving to the front, though, Kyle. He's been consistently one of the fastest cars on track the last 5 laps.
Yeah, started 8th, fell back to 13th, and is now 2nd, Hunter. So he is off onto a mission in that number 51 car. Eliminated from the playoffs and was not happy about it. So I think he's just looking to do anything he can now to steal some wins before the end of the year.
Absolutely, that's all you can do at this point, and he's trying to close the gap between himself and Chris Rabel, only 4 car lengths separating the top 2, but on the outside, his teammate Rafe Slate's still trying to get it going. He's following the 7 of Scioli, and now looks to the outside JT Poole for the 6th spot.
See how much wheel movement is happening there. Just through the center of 3 and 4 in particular, just not that much angle at all. You're kind of steering it with the throttle here, it looks like. And just behind them, there's Michael Curran on the inside of Beckner. They're 3 wide back here as Greg Mitchell
that's
pulls
tight.
down. It is getting really tight quarters there, Eric, as they leave turn 2. Whoa, look out.
And I got to check now. I think, yeah, Travis does have his spotter, Dawson Miller, on the spotter stand for him. So I'm sure Dawson's telling him it's real tight. Probably not what you want here 13 laps into the race, but they make it work. Michael Curhan's going to continue to go after Travis. Travis will get clear. Ryan Hart's to the bottom of his teammate, Rafe Slate. That's a battle for 7th.
Boy, Curran is playing an awfully close game there with the 2 and his teammate right behind as well.
Whoa,
Boy,
look
now
out. Wow, David Weishart turned left off the corner, right ahead of Curhan. That was dicey stuff there down the backstretch.
I think Rafe got a little bit out of shape too, which might have not helped things 3 wide. Here we go. Connor Okrezik to the bottom. He's going to cut the the tri-oval, excuse me.
He's being split by the Solid Rock Performance teammates. He's just hugging that middle, but getting real close there. Okrezik trying to complete the pass on both. He will. Garrett Grant, it has not been a good race for him. Qualified up front, did not go on the initial start, and has fallen outside the top 10. Just trying to manage a bad situation here as the run goes on.
Not coming forward. Jake Nichols still in 21st, and Douglas Newbigging back to 30th. So we'll have to see what these guys play for strategy to get themselves the track position. I'm very impressed right now, Kyle. Those 3 gold numbers there, 3, 4, 5. Pressure's on, and they're making it work right now as Ricky Springer comes for the lead.
Wasting no time down to the inside here in the 51, and new leader, Ricky Springer.
You think he's still racing mad from what happened, the events of last week? Like Jeremy Miller picking up a
100%.
suspension for that?
I think
Took
so.
him out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I understand Ricky Springer's aggression level.
Well, it certainly is working for him right now, but is he burning off tires too quickly, Hunter? That's a fear I have when you drive to the front that aggressively and that quickly. Are you going to waste rubber that you could use later in this run? And Seth Knoll is running him back down, and Connor Horn, JT Poole, we'll keep our eyes on those two. Generally pretty decent in the long run as well, but this one car creeping back forward in that yellow number, Hunter, as we complete lap 17.
Yeah, I gotta think that when he got loose there in 1 and 2, it had to have scrubbed off a good bit of tire wear, but he found something in the middle where he wasn't completely using the third group, which he was having a few issues there, but it might wear a little more than others. And Seth Knoll trying to complete the pass here on Rabel for second. He will. But yeah, you see Springer there. He's still running that middle to high groove, which is going to be key as the run goes on. And
Whoa, car on the grass. Travis Beckner, I think, in the 28.
See if Simrat Market captures the replay. Oh, he bounced the apron there, right in the middle. And he went up the track. Too much wheel on exit.
Whew.
Big save, though.
That'll wake you up. And there is more trouble. This time, Jordan Martin on the back straightaway in the wall. We stay green for now. Simrat Market replay
Add some
again.
help. You're going to see he's going to get tagged here with Bryce Senesac, and then the reaction gets him turned down in the infield wall. Man, the bad luck season, the bad luck stretch for Jordan Martin continues.
Yeah, let's see again as he comes up off the corner. Ben Pierce on the out. Oh, he kind of washes up into the 0-9, and that's kind of what stacks everybody up. All the while, up front, things are shifting and shuffling because Seth Knoll has grabbed the lead away from Ricky Springer. And Eric, I think this is what I feared. The 51 burned off his tires. Here comes the 42 and the 26.
Yeah, to give you an idea, I mean, Chris Rabel started on pole. He kind of sat and bided his time. Then he drove out to the lead, and he drove a second plus ahead of third place at the time, who was Seth Knoll, excuse me. And now Chris Rabel is back to 7th already, and he's falling like a rock. Ricky Springer is just a delayed fall like a rock, because he's still maintaining the high line and the momentum, but JT Poole, his teammate's going to go to the bottom and give the third place position to JT Poole.
And he's completing the pass on the rock, is in Solid Rock Performance, because Springer is just holding on to it on the outside line, but to no avail as Weishart's looking underneath. Oh, almost a big moment there for the 7 of Skyle. He's going to have the 3 of Hearts all over his bumper down the back. Rabel still holding on to 8th, and then Curran and Okrezik rounding out the top 10.
Now, lots of big runs now. Go ahead.
I was just saying, we've hit that crossover point. Guess who's creeping himself up the leaderboard right now? You see him there in 14th place, Jake Nichols. working his way forward.
It always happens, and this is a track that it seems to happen to the extreme. But Jake Nichols, slow in the early part of the run, but he is saving tire for later in that run. And last time by, ran a 30.956, was the second fastest car on the racetrack. So he is moving and moving quickly. And the 51 Hunter, I think, is trying to band-aid his hurt tires by carrying some more speed right up against that outside wall, but he's still falling down the order.
Trying to put a couple band-aids on because it's the rapid loss for the 51. Is that Rabel might make it 3 wide here when they approach the exit of 2. Nope, not going to be enough though.
Ooh.
But that was close.
That's the burnt right rear.
Yeah.
Guys, that Ricky Springer has now used up his right rear. He's got it angry. The temperature's up on it, so he's just going to continue to get looser. And I mean, running the top is only going to make it feel worse, I think, especially over here in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, put a little more wheel in it, especially to get on corner exit. But 1 and 2, nice open entries where you can really feel loose. He's going to run real tight with Chris Rabel right there.
Yeah, really tight quarters here. It's a busy area of the racetrack. Off turn 2, the 29 bobbles, and here comes Okrezik to the inside of the 14. Big run.
And meanwhile, Jake Nichols is joining in on the mix now as he continues to climb towards that top 10, although I'm not sure if it's a good situation to be in with how close the 51 has been to the 2 and the 14 and the other cars around him.
The man he ran up front with last season, Jake Nichols ran up front with last season here at Las Vegas, Ryan Hart, is the fastest man on track right now, Kyle. He's creeping his way up. He's up to 6 now. Is someone who is that rejoining the racetrack on the bottom?
Brian Swan was loose out of 2. He's rejoined it. But some things change and some things stay the same. And who is quick at a given racetrack in a given condition is probably not going to shift a whole lot from season to season. But Jake's still got a long way to go. We're about halfway through this fuel run, and he's only made up 7 spots. But I just imagine he's going to accelerate that forward momentum as the tires burn off more. Springer's the cork in the bottle here now, guys. There's a 1.5 second gap up to 7th place Michael Curhan as the 2 and the 51 continue to battle.
So if I'm splitting this evenly with the 2 stops that we need, 46, we call it 47 laps a stint, Kyle and Hunter. So that's my ideal target laps are 47 and 94. And for guys like Chris Rabel and Ricky Springer, I might move that first pit lap up a little bit here now that I've spent the tires and try to open save a little bit on the back end of the run. In the next 2 stints, Chris Rabel still fighting away with Travis Beckner, who had that big save earlier in the race.
Were you just calculating 47? I could hear a little tap tap. I didn't know if you were using your
you know, the calculator always burns when Eric Weinland is on iRacing, whether I'm in the cockpit or in the broadcast.
Look out, guys. The 29
right,
spins, collects the 51. Everybody scatters.
Look
Crash. Caution, lap 29.
well, look out, Tyler Nichols.
Tyler Nichols!
Oh, he's going to run right into
The
him.
28's in it, guys. Playoff competitor. Travis Beckner has big-time damage.
Oh, the aggression level in Ricky Springer just went up even further because Tyler, no issue with trying to get to the bottom, but these cars do not stop on a dime, especially when you lock them up.
Now let's go back and look at this again in slow motion coming through turn 2. Watch the 28 and 29. Rabel kind of turns down the track here as he goes to the middle of the 51. And does he have to check up right there? You see him get loose, and he has to check up. And the 28 almost gets through here, but right here he's going to get turned by the 51 across the racetrack, and he's going to get hit again, I think.
Yeah, slide's actually staying right down
there.
the racetrack.
Oh.
Bam! Oh, Cameron Hearn, nowhere to go. He actually Cameron looked like he was screened by the issue.
Cedric Hunter in those 7?
Yeah.
I think it was Cedric
Cameron
Hunter.
gets screened by Swan and Ballard, and watch the pink car there. Wow, what a move!
Yeah, this is a big hit, though, for the 28. He gets absolutely clobbered there, and that could be the end of the night, and that would be catastrophic for his playoff opportunities. Here's the onboard with Cedric Hunter. Watch all of it. Top middle of your screen. Oh, man, that's a big hit.
Well, down here on pit road, everybody, 4 tires and fuel, gentlemen. I've got Chris Rabel just now pulling to his spot. Seth Noel is going to win the race off of pit road. A lot of guys, 4 tires and fuel. Let's see, this puts us at 110 laps to go. Kyle Hunter, that is right on the number. Remember I said 52 to 56 laps? You split it evenly, it'd be 55 in each stint the rest of the way.
We know what they say, cautions breed cautions, Hunter, so maybe this will create a little bit of a different race than if we didn't have a yellow there. We were finally beginning to string some cars out, but it took almost 30 laps to get to that point, and there were still 2 and 3 wide almost every other lap. So this is going to be one of those pack racing style events, Hunter, where it's going to be hard to escape.
The aggression never dies down here at Vegas. Even if it dies down inside the top 5, top 10, those that were outside the top 10, like say 15th or so, right around where we saw the crash happen, they're still vying for positions. They're trying to get everything that they can out of their car, trying to make it a little bit of a better day. But you push the envelope, sometimes it creates incidents like what we just saw.
I don't know what Cameron Hearn is rocking or what he's feeling, but he put in chat 34% brake bias. He tried to stop, but the rears were the thing that locked on the 4 car, and he had no control from there. That is a super low brake bias for a stock car.
I didn't even know that you could push it back that far, to be totally honest. But the 28, I mean, at least the suspension is in one piece, but that car is not looking very good. And if the engine pops on this, it's going to be a tough week next week when we head to our penultimate round at Richmond Raceway in a week's time.
I think we're 1 to green, and he's coming back at pit road.
Yeah, we are 1 to
Is
green.
the 28. So, and he's down the, if you ride on board in his cockpit, his wheel's a little to the right down the straightaway. That's probably normal. Maybe the toe is a little offset, but not a good look for the 28.
Toe's the last thing I'd be concerned about. It's the engine damage that he almost certainly has after the impact that he took. That was a big hit there. But coming back to the green flag this time, 32 laps complete of 140. And they were clicking him away pretty quick. We will get right back to it. Seth Knoll, Connor Horn. Let's keep an eye on that 42, guys. Good speed over the long run. Same with JT Poole, and David Weishart restarts in 3rd. Here we go. From Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Area Cup Series playoffs are back underway. Green flag back in the air. Dom DeLeo out of line there in the background.
Let's go on board with the 22 here and see what Dom can roll here from 15th.
Wow, that was close between O'Kresick there and the 21 of Delonte Ballard. Seth Knoll leads the way through 3 and 4. Big push there by the 2 of Greg Mitchell in 3 and 4. He kind of rode up the racetrack, but side by side behind him, JT Poole and David Weishart.
Ooh, and Horn's still trying to get that top roll in to get along the quarter panel. Yeah, they are still aggressively racing all throughout the pack. And look at that purple car on the bottom, Jake Nichols. He's made quite a charge within the first 35 laps of the race. He's going to clear the 7 and move up to the 6th position, knocking on the door of the top 5 as Horn takes the lead on the outside and clears himself from Seth Knoll.
Yeah, power move there for Connor Horn. And then that 73, Eric, as Hunter mentioned, he is now moving forward and has track position and that long run pace that we've come to expect with the 73. So he's definitely going to be a threat tonight. And that's a frustrating scenario for everybody in front of him and behind him.
Tied for the biggest mover of the race right now with Dom DeLeo. Both are plus 14 from their starting positions.
Yeah, Dom hasn't raced since Darlington. That's all the way back in race 7 of the season. He's been kind of traveling all over the place, but good to see that he's traveled back into area. As there's the other purple car that Ada Slate was looking to the outside of Jake Nichols.
Oh, the 7 Scioli.
He got loose and he checked it. He got loose, got out of the throttle, and Greg Mitchell ran up on him and got a little bit of the right rear.
Oh, he's still fighting it. Oh my gosh, they just escaped death there. That was crazy, especially in the middle of the turn.
That was wild, and Dom DeLeo lifted and probably saved Scioli's night. And O'Kresick just in front of him. But that's That's a chink in the armor, I think, for Scioli to see him that loose on fresh tires, guys, as we go back up to the front because the lead battle is back underway once again. This time Seth Knoll and JT Poole still following tight in the tire tracks of the 42.
Connor obviously favors the clean air because he made the power move around the top, as you guys mentioned, to get the lead. I'm not sold on it, though, as Seth Knoll is going to go to the bottom here. I almost feel like you want to be in a little bit of dirty air. It's going to make the car a little bit tighter. If these guys are burning the right rear more than the right front, they'll feel loose, and JT Poole is going to take the run now since Seth couldn't complete the pass.
There's his roommate going to work on the different strategies there on the computer in the back.
Is that iRacing in the background?
Second.
You guys completely made that up. I know the answer.
Okay.
2K finally finished downloading to his Xbox, and now he's loading up 2K right now.
Nice. Whoa, his roommate, JT Poole, has to lift for a moment as Seth Knoll turns down, and with a good run on the back straightaway, he's going to have a shot here at Connor Horn down the back straightaway. Side by side into 3 for the lead.
He did make it work on the bottom in 1 and 2. Can he do so in 3 and 4? Man, Connor's going to run him so tight. It's going to bring Seth up the hill with him.
Oh,
and Connor may have drugged the wall.
Oh, he definitely got into the wall there. Whereas
oh, that's tight.
If that were Denny Hamlin, he'd say they gave the 42 a lane, even though not really. But here comes JT Poole with a strong run, trying to get a little
wrecking in the back.
Uh-oh.
Ryan Swan has
Oh, him and Jordan Martin.
no longer must be singing his swan song.
Oh boy. Second yellow of the night, lap 40. Here's a look at what happened. Ooh, to the inside there, it was Garrett Grant that got hit by Newbigging.
I was just saying, that's Douglas Newbigging. That is a playoff driver involved in this incident.
Yeah, he just
making an aggressive send.
Oh man.
And Springer almost got collected in that one too.
Yeah, watch again. Hard left right before the corner, and then the 5 just doesn't open up the corner enough. That was never going to work, and then 67 gets tagged, and Martin's just a visitor here.
I'm curious if we could back our sim wrap market replay up just a little bit further, maybe the exit of turn 4, if Douglas felt that Garrett really cut him off, or if he just chose to try to make the move, because Douglas is on the bottom there, Hunter. It looks like he has the nose.
Oh, is it right here? Might have been, but this was an aggressive send. I was just about to say, the other cutoff drivers are running top 3, and Doug Newbigging is the last cutoff driver. He's running in the back, so I guess he's just trying to make any sort of moves that he can that could get him to the front. Might have been a move out of desperation, and that's why we see our second caution of the night.
So these guys are 20th on down. The only guy in the top 20 that came down pit road, Kyle, is David Weishart. See him pulling into the box there at the bottom of the screen. No pit report here, but 4 tires looks like it's going on the 33. Interesting call. These guys do get more than the number of sets they needed tonight. They have 5 sets in total. They started on a set 4 in the pits. That'll be David's second that he's bolted on, so 2 more left for the 33 car.
I haven't really had an opportunity to gauge what the tire wear is tonight, but my intuition is that it's not going to be huge after 10 laps, but I bet you it's a lot after about 15 to 20. So maybe the 33's onto something there, and we'll see.
I'll investigate that one for you.
Yeah, all right. We'll let Hunter get to work as, or excuse me, Eric get to work as Hunter. Guys, my brain is so melted from Mid-Ohio. It was a long, hot weekend. I had 8 hours of broadcast time on Saturday, so my brain is just absolutely melting right now. But we have just under 100 laps to go. Connor Horn is your leader. And on the left-hand side there, Hunter, let's have a look. 3 of the top 5 spots are drivers below the cut line. There are 5 of our 8 playoff competitors in the top 10.
Yeah, and then, you just hit the nail on the head right there. 5 of the top 10 are inside. They're contending for this postseason. But yeah, 3 cutoff drivers in 1, 2, 3 right now. Connor Horn, JT Poole, Seth Knoll. They've all been arguably the fastest, if not one of the fastest cars on the track. And, is that no. Yeah, that is. Travis Beckner stopped on track. Not sure for what, but interesting there. And he is also another playoff driver who is not having a good night after being caught up in that wreck, and still got more than halfway to go, but it's not looking good for Richmond for the 28 of Beckner.
Not off to a good start tonight with that accident. He is 9 laps down, so not looking good for him at the moment, but still has another race to pull it through, and I think Richmond will be a good track for him. Race fans, be sure to visit simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack.
He could pass Cameron Hearn. He disconnected from the lobby. He's out for the night. Only 2 laps down compared to Travis Beckner. So Hearn 7 laps, Beckner 9 laps. He can pick up that spot easily. That's huge for him. He needs every point that he can get, especially after the night he's had. And everyone outside of 20th has come down pit road. So that's another thing that we'll keep an eye on as Eric does his investigative work. And there's the 1167 who are a part of the most recent caution.
Yeah, they were both victims in that one, so I don't think they'll have any hard feelings necessarily. Neither of them started it. They just were the ones that end up being in it. As we get the 1 to green, they're going to double back up. Connor Horn chooses the inside lane for the restart. Then Seth Knoll, JT Poole, Ryan Hartz, and Rafe Slate, the rest of your top 5. Jake Nichols will restart in 6th, which is a pretty good starting spot for him in that 73 and reigning race winner here at Las Vegas.
So to give you guys an idea, and our fans at home, ran some quick math there. Actually, I didn't really run quick math. It's just some looking at the lap reports. So I'll give you 2 extremes here. We'll talk pole sitter Chris Rabel. We saw him drop like a rock on stint number 1. So his fast lap was just lap 5, but I'll call it lap 3. He ran a 30.3. After 10 laps, he only had lost 0.3 off his lap time, but after 20 laps, he lost a full second from his fast lap. Jake Nichols, on the other hand, who we saw charging through the field late in that first stint, 0.2 down after lap 10 from his fast time, and 0.6 down after 20. So he was almost half a second faster after 20 laps than what Chris Rabel did. Those 2 extremes, most of these guys are going to be somewhere in the middle there. So I'd say after 20 laps, I'd be worrying about tires, Kyle.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess my intuition was telling me that that would be somewhat right, but a lot of track position for Weishart to make up. He restarts 21st. Green flag back in the air again here at Las Vegas. Connor Horn is your leader. Beckner's got big issues.
Yeah, he's doing some more yard work on the front stretch.
Well, the 73 dives to the inside of Slate, and Slate covered him off.
Oh.
And blocks him again at the exit of 2. I don't know how Jake Nichols will like that.
It's a battle of the purple cars there. 73 inside of the 8. Kind of looked like the 8 was trying to cut off the 73, but nonetheless, they've got it all figured out, under control, and the next side-by-side battle is Delonte Ballard and Connor O'Kresick.
I wouldn't say exactly that the 2 purple cars are best of friends from my investigative pit reporting I've done throughout the weeks. I wouldn't call them allies out there. I wouldn't call them rivals, but definitely not allies. As we watch Connor O'Kresick rip the top past Greg Mitchell, and he's looking for Michael Curran.
Big defensive maneuver there from the 14. Turned in pretty early for turn 3 just to keep Greg Mitchell from an opportunity to go by. And on these restarts, you got to get what you can get, but a lot of times this aggression, Hunter, feels misplaced because you gain so much speed later in the run by being easy on your tires, and the aggression here is going to cost you later.
Like we're seeing right now with the 8 of Rafe Slate, he's trying to increase his positions. Well, he's actually passing teammate and playoff driver Ryan Hart. So there's another one of his teammates right here, Ricky Springer, again trying to get that 3rd lane rolling. Was caught up in a wreck early on, but is trying to make up for the loss of time and track position. He's close to 3 wide with Ed Robertson and Cedric Hunter.
For the lead, here comes JT Poole to the inside of Connor Horn on the exit of turn 2, and Ray Slate has both of them in the windshield.
Connor's going to choose to take the top again to try to hang on to the lead. See him enter a little higher and then really cut down in the middle. He doesn't get right on JT's door like he did Seth Knoll earlier in the previous stint. Connor still hangs on to that lap, though.
These two have raced side by side so much this season, Hunter. I think they've got a respect for each other. They have had a couple of run-ins, but minor, and they seem like they've forgotten about it.
Oh yeah, definitely at this stage of the race, you don't want to have something happen now and then the other driver save that for later in the race and then use that on them. Horn still going to try and lead this lap. JT Poole's going to have a run to the inside, but the 42 leads it barely at the line. Meanwhile, the Ava Slate, he's trying to get around these two. Doesn't really have a lane to go. He could make it 3 wide if he really wants to, but he's just letting him battle it out for the time being.
He's trying to get some clean air on the right side of that car. He's sitting in the middle, and whatever clean air could make it through the middle between those two. But Connor back to the lead. That crucially keeps a bonus point away from JT right now, though I would not be surprised to see JT potentially lead a little later on in this race.
Yeah, he's knocking on the door of it right now. He just needs to complete this pass. 50 laps complete, 90 laps to go here at Las Vegas. And they're going by quick, guys. We've had a couple of yellows, but short yellows and quick laps here at about 30 seconds a pop. So they're going to go away quick. And the opportunity to move forward will go away as well. But here comes JT again with an inside run and a lunge into 3.
Not sure if it'll be enough to lead at the line this time by, although he might be dead even when they cross the stripe. Outside line just too strong for the 42. Barely got it that time by, but JT Poole is closing in on leading that lap. Again, bonus point if you lead a lap. And being on the outside of the cutoff, he's going to try and clear him here off too. Oh. Still a strong run. Horn not letting go.
He's trying to break the side draft there as JT down the racetrack. Connor didn't want to fully chase. He's going to run the middle again here. Is the 42, and he's going to roll the momentum right around the 26.
Oh, that was close. Wow, that was tight out of turn 4. That was very, really close. And then Rafe Slate still sizing up both of them. If JT slips or makes a mistake, that will bring the 8 right into the mix and have a shot at both of them.
Waiting for when Poole was going to get tight. I knew his entry into 3 was not the smoothest because he went down low to break up that side draft. Didn't know when it was going to happen, but Snell almost snapped on corner exit. So he's going to look, no, not going to have a lane to the inside, but he is still trying to get around that 42, and Rafe Slate's just waiting for the right time to strike.
Across the line, it's a 3-car breakaway right now. And behind him, there's some battles. Jake Nichols, Seth Knoll, Michael Curhan, Connor O'Kresick. Big slide there by Knoll mid-corner here, and that's going to bring Curhan into the mix.
You saw the purple car. Jake Nichols turned down the racetrack there in 1 and 2. I saw that too, Hunter. And he took the air off the nose of the 1, and that really got the 1 to push up the track. He might do it again here in 3 and 4 as we go back to Dwayne Culberson rolling the top around Ed Robertson. Solar Flare, we didn't mention this yet, Hunter and Kyle. The team championship, Lucky Duck Motorsports still leading as Connor Horn still leads. But Solar Flare right behind them on their heels, 9 points back. And remember, the best 2 finishing drivers for your team is the points you earn for the week. Solar Flare trying to get their guys toward the front. Ricky Springer caught the wall there off too.
Drivers getting really aggressive deeper in the field as well. Saw some big moves down the back straightaway. Douglas Newbegin way up the track. And JT Poole is all over the back of Connor Horn. Has another look to the inside at turn 1. He's taking that shallower line. But Connor's covering him up. This is a great battle between these two. But look at the slip up for the 42. That should bring JT into the mix. Side draft that quarter panel. Here he comes.
He's got to have the run from the Ada Slate as well. Horn clipped the bottom, clipped the apron a little bit. JT
almost
Poole.
got him. That was so close. Is he going to clear him? He does.
Oh, that's tight.
Well, they're going to chase each other into the wall. That was really tight. Connor slides up to the outside lane and side by side into turn 1 once again.
Guess what? JT Poole, bonus point, lap lead.
Oh, they slide. Huge moment for the 26 out of turn 2. Here comes Rafe Slate to the bottom. They're 3 wide for the lead.
They're all crashing going into the turn. But,
Ryan Hartz.
Gosh. Ryan Hartz got a shove from Seth Knoll.
Look out.
JT Poole trying to rip the top. Rafe Slate trying to corral it in the middle. It's chaos up here. JT Poole leading. Here comes Jake Nichols now.
Where did he come from into the mix? They're 3 wide into turn 1 again. The 1, the 8, the 73. Just shoving that 42 rearward as JT Poole runs away.
We just ticked lap 27 since these guys bolted these tires on, and the guys that took the chance to save their stuff are starting to show up. Rafe Slate moving forward, Ryan Hartz and Jake Nichols. Those are the 2 that I have my eye on. They were the big opponents here in season 3 at this racetrack, and they're doing it once more here, Kyle.
That was a wild lap or 2. We'll have to go back and watch that one again later. JT Poole leads the way, picks up that critical bonus point. Again, came into the night below the cut line in the playoffs. Absolutely deserves a spot in that Final 4 with how good he has run this season. Look at Jake Nichols taking him 3 across into turn 3.
Trying to get underneath the 8 of Slate to complete the pass. Horn's running the third lane up. Gonna have Michael Kern following his tire tracks, but yeah, almost a huge moment there. And statement block from the 26 of Poole as they are still side drafting aggressively up there. The 8 of Slate and the 42 of Horn close to touching in the middle of 1 and 2. Oh, my touch here. They're going to touch. Oh, my gosh. That was close.
Rafe is not happy with the 42. You see him.
Crash.
There it is.
The 42 slides down the racetrack. Rafe Slate makes contact with him. Everybody behind him has to check up. These two are just at an absolute brawl right now.
Yeah, Horn is not having a good time right now.
No,
he's having the 24 pushing
3 wide.
3 wide again going in the corner. Look out. Here comes Jake Nichols from the bottom.
He says, get out of the way, guys. I want to be ahead of whatever is about to happen between these two. And that's still tight side drafting down the back stretch.
Yeah, Connor Horn has got to be upset right now with the 8, but what can you do?
Oh, we got to spin at the back.
Delonte Ballard in the 21. Yellow is out. And that is going to be a huge relief for Connor Horn to finally get doubled back up. But let's have a look at what happened here for Delonte Ballard from high above. He's battling Skylar Shackelford. And the 84.
Yep. Just tagged him in the left rear enough, and then...
Now him again.
Well, DeLon's just trying to save it at this point, and he's not having any luck.
So
Cosman just kind of rolled right into it. That we saw that. This happened to DeLont at Chicago. He got nailed in the left rear by Garrett Grant on the last lap, very similarly. As Solid Rock is not happy with Connor Horn whatsoever on the radio.
Honestly, Horn is racing for everything he's got right now. He's contending for the championship. The 8 of Slate is not. So I can sense the frustration with, hey, it's positions on track, but they're not even halfway through. And again, they have to think about the bigger picture. The 42 is going to be more aggressive because he's trying to make it to the championship 4, whereas the 8 of Slate's just trying to win the race. But
yeah, and I guess I don't understand. I didn't really see what the 42 was doing wrong there necessarily. There was some close racing, but I don't know. 42 was kind of on the outside for most of that, which is kind of the least advantageous position. But definitely, I can tell that emotions are high right now, guys. That was a pretty wild couple of laps. And actually, while we've got a minute, drivers are on pit lane. I think we should go back and look at some of it.
While you're pulling the replay out, 4 tires and fuel for everybody. This is their second set. They've got 2 left now in the pits. Obviously, David Weishart stays out because he only has 2 sets left. Didn't want to burn one here.
This was just a wild couple of laps for the 42. Just kind of got swarmed here. And then
Jake had a moment there in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Backed them up a little bit. Side draft is just so strong on iRacing in the Cup car, and these guys can easily drag each other back down the straightaways. You saw that to great effect between the 8 and the 42, and you watched Jake Nichols turn under here for 3 wide, Hunter.
I think it's the next lap where he does it.
Yeah,
it's a few laps after this, but
there's the 73 now, and this is going into 3. But this was about a 5-lap period where no one was pulling punches. They were all going for it, and then here it is into... See, the 8's kind of crowding the 42 here. Maybe he was just mad he didn't let him go, but... Yeah, then he kind of runs him up the hill here, guys.
Yeah, very close, and this could have been disastrous for the 73 and Nichols, Kern, really all these guys around him, even the 7 of Scioli, those that are still in the playoffs. They would have crashed right there. They could have taken out the top 2 drivers in the points, and we really could have had a topsy-turvy point standings after this, but fortunately that was not the case.
Yeah, that wasn't... I mean, the 42 was going dead straight there. The 8 kind of ran up into the side of him, so I don't know that there's blame to be placed on the 42 for that particular incident, but definitely emotions running high here, guys. And we have a long way to go, so they have to keep it in check if they want to make it to the end.
David Weishart is a lonely man out here. He is the only one to have stayed out. Now 22 laps on the tires for the 33. You're going to see him drop like a rock here on this restart.
I guess I liked being ahead on the strategy. I don't know why you wouldn't have just come down pit lane and cut your loss there, because I don't know that this is strategy I would have pulled. I like being on the tire advantage, not necessarily with a restart of 20 lap fresher tires behind me.
What is it, 76 to go as they cross the line right now. They'll get a restart with 75 to go. These 2 sets across those 75 laps puts him back equal with everybody. But yeah, he's I guess I understand the play he was trying to make and hoping it would go green. Obviously, Rafe Slate and Connor Horn proved that was not going to be the case, though they weren't the yellow. See Travis Beckner rolling back there. By the way, Travis did pass Cameron Hunter, which puts him in 30th position. He's currently 14 points out of the cut. He was 15 to the good coming in. So a 29 point swing for the 28 right now. Huge implications for his playoff hopes.
And looking through, Cosman just disconnected as well, so he's going to get another position.
That'll be one more spot, yep.
Every spot counts.
By the way, the 84 did pick up the EOL for the incident there, and they also disabled Beckner's chat.
I don't know that a lot of good was going to come out of it after that tonight, so maybe that was wise, but I sense he's obviously very frustrated, not involved for an incident that was really his doing. So that's a tough one to swallow, especially when there's only one more race to make it up. But Richmond he's pretty good at, so I expect him to be in the mix as we get back racing here. Lap 66 of 140. Good restart for David Weishart. He's going to need it. Run with those fresher tires behind him.
Oh, wow. The Ada Slate did not go at all.
3 wide. Who is that going up the middle? Skylar Shackelford in the 88. It's going up the middle. He's trying to find a place to go. He's got Greg Mitchell way down at the bottom now.
That is not a good recipe back there at all. Oh, Culberson all the way up. This is going to get tight.
Oh, man, lots of movement here. And the 8 and the 42, they are like magnets tonight. They can't seem to get away from each other. Ryan Hart's up in second, by the way, still chasing a win on the season. And
that's big because he has not led a lap yet.
Yep, and well, he's not leading just yet. He's still got to run down Weishart, but JT Poole to the bottom, and then Scioli back in the throw. I think JT's got a bit more pace.
Off turn 4. Oh yeah.
As of the restart, Ryan Hart's was tied on the cut line. Now that he's gained a couple of positions, it'll inch him just ahead of JT Poole, who he's also racing up here at the front.
Ooh, JT slots himself between Scioli, slide the 81, and more trouble to 64.
Robertson.
What a save. What an incredible save from both of them.
Look out. Holy cow.
Ain't over
Those
till
are a
it's
couple
over.
wheelmen right there.
The man that does not want problems had a problem, but he made sure it wasn't a big one.
Yep, 64 drifted up.
Ooh.
Great job by the 81 and the 64. That was wild. Looked like they were speed skating there for a second. Not a lot of ice in Las Vegas.
Not yet.
Not yet. And Hartz takes the lead away from Weishart into 3. JT Poole and others will follow.
It's big for the 3 of Hart's. Going to get that bonus point for leading a lap as Poole's trying to get around the 33. Scioli thought about making it 3 wide. Yeah, he thought about making it 3 wide.
Halfway.
I'm in a pickle right now.
Next time by, lap 71 marks halfway. It has been a frantic one, guys. JT to second.
And this is the moment with the heat cycles and the amount of laps that David's put on these tires. He's gonna start to fall as these guys phase their tires in nicely and don't abuse them on the short run like Ricky Springer and Chris Rabel did on stint number 1. JT Poole is gonna put the pressure on Ryan Hartz, who has now led his lap. Ryan up the racetrack. Here comes JT.
Yeah, Ryan had a moment there in 1 and 2, and it's going to cost him the lead. 26 of Poole down low. He can get through cleanly. Oh, that's tight in the middle of 3 and 4. Hart's still fighting on that outside, though.
Oh, guys, behind him, there's a big gaggle of cars. 3 wide, 2 deep.
Boy.
This is a mess.
Connor Horn's right there in the middle of it, too.
Oh, boy.
Why do I get the feeling that the 8 and the 42 have kind of sparked this mess to happen?
I think the 8's mirror driving right now.
I would agree. And there it is. He's
this is
he
not gonna
dragging the
end.
brake down the straightaway?
I think so. This is the old Kevin Harvick head games from back in 2011. Remember that Kyle Busch versus Kevin Harvick, that 5-week spur that they had? It was all head games from Harvick, and he is dragging Connor Horn backwards. Connor's the only driver that's got something to lose here. He's got to play this smart, but Newbegin wants the inside.
Is that the culmination of the Darlington, I'm going to turn your car into the pit wall after the race?
Yeah, I'm also thinking about Homestead and Pocono, where Harvick ran Kyle way down under the apron, into almost towards the pit wall, and that culminated with the Darlington
Here
thing.
comes the 8. He's going to slot right in behind the 07, and he might continue the same shenanigans with the 42, but back-to-back weeks where 609 Motorsports and Solid Rock Performance are going at each other's throats, if you will. But
Connor's being incredibly patient with this because they have been dragged backward almost to 20th. And he hasn't given up on it because I think he knows he lays the bumper on him and it's all hell's going to break loose.
E15 for the 42 right now, which puts him in a really bad position points-wise.
Whoa,
Now-
Weishart. Oh,
Four
wide.
wide. The 42 to the outside of Cogswell, Weishart, and Slate.
Oh, Newbegin 1 and 3 wide.
I think Connor did that solely just so he doesn't stay behind the 8, because he's going to have a nice run here off of 2. 8 might try to slide up. No, he's not going to do it.
Here comes the
but-
side draft.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, Connor, with where he's running now, guys, 13 below the cut.
Wow. I mean,
Now
this
that
is
he's lost all these
I
spots.
feel like a storm chaser watching the cloud fronts collide. And it's
I hate to break it, but meanwhile, as this is going on, JT Poole and Skyly are swapped in second place like crazy, and Jake Nichols is joining in. Could make it a 3-car battle for the runner-up spot.
Yeah, Ryan Hartz drove back to the lead while we were watching Horn Slate kerfuffle.
it backed the whole field up while they were sorting that one out. They finally have.
There's a notable gap between, is that Cedric Hunter in 10th and Ben Pierce? Ben Pierce, that's a name we haven't really called out much this season. At 65 cars, cracked the top 10 in 9th, having himself a great run as part of Solid Rock Performance. I don't know if he counts for team points, but he definitely helps them out on the racetrack when he's able to get here.
Yeah, nice run for him so far tonight. As Hartz leads the way over Scioli, here comes Jake Nichols to the outside of Poole. And Poole's a dangerous driver to have in that
Look
final
how back
4.
there. Oh, my gosh. Sorry, Michael Sturgill and Michael Curran cut it close there in the middle of 3 and 4.
I was going to say, JT's a pretty dangerous driver to have in that final 4 because he has just been so fast at some racetracks, and I think Jake Nichols would like to bury him in the points and not have to worry about him. Kind of a wild card, new to the series, new to the league this season.
What a block from Shackelford.
Yeah, I think he's doing some of Connor's dirty work here.
I was going to say, that's a 609 Motorsports teammate in
Yeah.
that 88.
Oh, boy.
He's getting the 8 away from the 42, so Horn has some clear running. It's not going to work.
No.
Slate to the inside.
Oh gosh, that is risky business right there. But the 88, I mean, he is a teammate of Connor
Look
Horn,
out,
so he
look
will
out.
be
Guys,
willing to race a little aggressive.
I mean, this is like
And Horn's given the draft to the 88. Yeah.
this is like the Cold War here in Las Vegas. No one's willing to
I
make
tell you what.
take that final strike, but
Listening to the radios that I get to do most weeks, 609 and Solid Rock, they are not friends.
I
At all.
don't think that was a mystery, even without the radio.
Scioli for the lead.
Yeah, here he comes
Look
up
at
the
this.
outside.
That's a bonus point for the 7.
Yeah, he's led a
Great
couple
racing
laps.
here. Holy cow! And Curran might
Whoa!
join in on the mix. Oh my goodness! Just side by side all throughout. Here we go, 3 wide.
Guys, this racing has been phenomenal tonight. Here comes Seth Knoll back into the mix, the pole sitter on the evening. And JT Poole pushing forward here. He's loose in 1 and 2, though. He can't keep it rolling. 5 cars under a blanket out of turn 2.
Wow.
By the way, our 3 picks are now the top 6 in the race. Or in the top 6, excuse me.
Mine is in a little precarious spot right now.
Yeah, Michael Curran has worked himself up here with Connor Okresic, and there's a gold car we haven't talked about much tonight either. Michael Sturgill in the 17, making his presence known here in the top 10.
Ooh, big slip there by Ryan Hart's mid-corner. Still side by side for the lead now. Scioli swipes left, swipes right. Leads the way into 3. This has just been a scrap tonight. Look at Jake Nichols going way high now. Curhan re-entering the fray.
Are you saying James has experience on Tinder?
Well, let's hope he finds a match tonight.
It is Las Vegas. What happens here stays here.
Well, for some people, that is.
Finally,
Right on board with Michael Curran.
calming down a little bit, I would say, but for how long?
Need to get him a screen for his message board.
Yeah.
Get live time, live points there.
A level of complication I didn't know we needed to add, but I'm all for it.
Multitasking at its finest.
Seth Knoll, the second, ahead of JT Poole.
Starting to think JT might have used his stuff up early part of the run. These guys are now just ticking past 20 laps on these tires, and man, Seth Noel, strong move to the inside. He's going to take the lead here in 3 and 4.
And just think about where he was all season long, guys. He won the Area 500, then was kind of nowhere. And now when the push comes to shove, he is getting poles, leading laps, making passes. It is an entirely different Seth Knoll that we're seeing at this stage in the season, and it's just at the right time for it all to really pay off for it in the form of a championship. He is so fast right now.
Ooh, fast indeed, as 26 of JT Poole is right on the bumper of Scioli for that second spot, but trying to time the move to make it the most appropriate, although don't know if it'll happen here, but he is definitely closing in on possibly making a pass for second.
Seth Knoll on the apron on the front straightaway, trying to shortcut.
Cedric Hunter looking to the inside. Yeah, he definitely rooted Nichols off the bottom.
And how about Cedric, by the way? Eliminated from the playoffs last week. You have to wonder, what if? He was kind of a wild card in that mix. Kind of snuck his way in there and snuck his way out. But running well tonight. And outperforming a couple playoff competitors this evening.
Oh, there he goes, looking for 5th from the 73 of Nichols.
Some other battles happening in the background. It's the 27 of Cogswell and Dom DeLeo in the 22. But out front, Seth Knoll leads the way as we approach 50 laps to go. And Eric, we are kind of in our fuel window soon. So when do you hit pit lane? Do you wait for a yellow? Do you wait for it to run out of fuel? Or do you pit now and try to get ahead of it?
So I think you might see all three. To be honest, some of these guys that might have felt they abused the tires early, obviously, I expect them to cut this stint a little bit short, like I said earlier in the race. But now they restarted with about 75 to go, so call it 36 laps on each stint, if you will. I know it's a little short of the number, but still 26 laps on the tires right now. I would not be surprised to start seeing guys come within the next, or just after 10 laps from now. I would also not, I definitely almost guarantee someone is going to try to run this long, trap some people a lap down, run the fuel long.
Greg Mitchell nearly flirting with disaster as we look from our SimRep market replay. Just got way too high coming out of 2 after having a moment.
Yeah, he definitely had a moment and had to lift, and it cost him. JT Poole falling backwards all of a sudden. Here comes the 24 Curran on the outside, and Connor Horn's back in the mix. And Eric, I think you're right. I think JT might have burned up his stuff a bit too much, and I could see him being one of the first to pit because he's losing time right now.
Yeah, if we get a chance to ride on board with the 26, you'll see that the facial expressions have turned very serious. So he knows what situation he's in right now, and not a fun time. His smile, he's having to work really hard inside of Connor Horn here. That'll move him back to 8th. You see that car's just so loose. He burned up a little bit too much right rear, put a little too much heat in it. Now he's having to pay the price, much like his teammate Ricky Springer did in stint number 1 of this race.
Yeah, you saw that steering wheel come back center. See it again there. Big move to the right. It's not handling very well. Curhan almost got in the wall out of 4 ahead of him. But definitely some struggles in handling for the 26.
By the way, that pass by the 42, they are tied for position now, the 26 and 42, but they are both 7 points below the cut, which is currently occupied by Ryan Hartz, who is in 4th currently. We watched Douglas Newbigging, the other guy in this playoff picture, was 10 points down coming in, Hunter, and it's not been a great night. Qualified terribly, but he's just now cracking the top 10 on the inside of race slate.
Yeah, getting better as the run goes on, alongside the 8 slate, trying to crack that top 10. He's going to need a little more help. Oh, not going to clear there, so the 88's going to go on his outside.
Ricky Springer's on pit lane, guys.
That was 30 laps on his tires. See what he's able to do if the track position flip can work out. 47 to go right here. So the driver's cost a lot.
Yeah, so lap time wise, looking at the leader, best lap of a 30.2, last time by 9/10 off that. So there certainly is enough tire wear to make pitting a consideration. The 42's, the 14.
Oh, Connor Kresick
saves it.
It's about as impressive as Ed Robertson and Dwayne Culberson earlier. Did JT have a moment here?
Right in front of the 14, who had to get out of the gas right
Wow.
there. Did a good job.
He did his teammate a solid right there.
He certainly did. Look at Jake Nichols here to the inside of James Scioli. At the right time, he's in this mix. Look at the 28. One other lap down here.
Here comes the 7. Yeah, that was a dangerous move a little bit.
Got to go. Running out of laps. 45 to go this time through. This one might be the car to beat.
Horn now 5 below the cut after making a pass on Cedric Hunter right there. Still working his way forward. Just so impressed with Seth Knoll. Oh, car in the wall. There's Travis Beckner.
Yeah, this is getting high energy here. The 8, the 88, the 71, the 22. Getting pretty spicy in this group.
I imagine Doug is begging just to get by Skylar Shackelford and get some clean air so he can go run the rest of the top 10 down, but the 88 does not want to let anyone by. Or does he have to?
No, definitely the cork in the bottle, though, and it's making everyone search for grip elsewhere to try to make this pass. 8 sliding backwards as well, used up his tires pretty well. One car scraped the wall there out of turn 2.
I think that was DeLeo. Oh, and Jake Nichols now up to 2nd. Just clearing the 7 is Jake Nichols. Michael Curran going to 4th. Arts in 5th. They're still all trying to catch the leader, Seth Knoll, in turn 1.
We're about to see the strength of this one car, guys, because you got a driver that won 9 races and a couple of championships recently, and you have him behind you. If you can hold him off, you are absolutely a championship competitor. He blinks out there for a moment. So if Jake Nichols can't dispatch this one car in the final couple laps of this race, that is a dangerous thing for Jake, because that one car has been so good, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really putting on a show now. We had a moment there on lap 98, exit at 2. Greg Mitchell and Ben Pierce came together with some net code, and that sent Greg tumbling down the order. I'm impressed with the run this one car has put on. Like I said at the top of the show, just like Ricky Springer did last season, getting hot at the right time. Seth is doing that now. But the man who saved his tires is running him down. Jake Nichols last time by was a 10th and we'll call it a 10th and a quarter better. This lap, just only half a tenth better than the one car in front of him.
Dom DeLeo hits pit lane. Sorry, Hunter. And look at Michael Curhan up to 4th place, making a good effort here late in the going.
Talking about making a good effort, look at Connor Horn up to 5th. And he was quite a bit ways back after his little skirmish there with the 8 slate. But he's driven up inside this top 10, now cracked the top 5. And he's still got some speed. I would have thought that with the tire run, they'd be hovering right around the top 10, kind of like where Shackelford is, but he managed to break through, and he is still closing in, trying to make up some more positions.
Yeah.
He's got the 24 of Kern within his sights.
That's a good point. I mean, he was driving all over the racetrack trying to get out of the way of the 8, but Eric Kidd has not slowed him down late in the run. He has still managed to maintain the rubber on his tires, and he's in striking distance here of this lead.
He's very disciplined right now, is Connor Horn. He's holding the bottom. James Scioli to pit road. Not sure if a call came out over the radio on that one. This is pretty dicey, but that's the first leader to blink and come down. That's 40 laps, or 39 laps, excuse me, on James's tires. And with 39 to go, he's splitting it right in half.
On board with the 73 Nichols as he continues to close in on the one of Knoll for the lead, but kind of wonder when the rest of these guys are going to make their way down pit road, and going to be treacherous trying to get on the pit road during these green flag pit stops because of the sharp turn from the 20-degree banking onto pit road.
There's our next leader, Ryan Hartz, and JT Poole follows him. This is solid rock strategy. I'm impressed. James Scioli got the jump on the rest of the leaders, Kyle, and now we got solid rock responding.
Yeah, so interesting now with under 40 laps to go, drivers think it's the right time to hit pit lane. But what does Seth Knoll do? Does he come before Jake Nichols, or does he let Jake beat him down there? I don't want Jake to beat me down there. I want to lead him, make sure I've got better tires than he does. Connor Horn's not in a bad spot, though, because he can see everything those leaders are doing, and he has time to react. But the 73 and the 24 are in this mix for the top spot. Ooh, 73 just turned hard left middle of the corner to try to get that run on the bottom.
Connor was loose. You saw him wagging the car back and forth. I'm impressed. Michael Curran's been starting to widen the groove out in 1 and 2, but now Jake Nichols is going to prove the groove is a little wider in 3 and 4. He tries to get the run.
Frederick, we got pit stops here, but I think the 14 is having a moment. I don't see him on the leaderboard.
Yeah, no, he must have dropped off. He is off track, whether internet related.
He's disconnected.
Yeah. Huh. Let's see if we can see what happened. This is a while ago. Was there more to it? Oh, made a mistake going on to pit lane.
Entering, and Connor decided it wasn't worth the rest of the night. Seth Knoll and Connor Horn, are down pit road. That leaves Jake Nichols to be your leader.
Yeah, so I like beating Jake Nichols to pit lane, guys, but the 73 is really good also, so he could make the strategy work. I don't think he can stay out here for too much longer, though.
No, the thing I'm looking at is he gets better on the longer runs, but we're not going to get a longer run. We're going to have another cycle on these tires, and this is going to be the last stint to the race to the finish of this race on these tires. And makes a pit stop now, but gotta wonder if he's got some short run speed in there. What happened to the one and
oh no, Seth? No, he is. That was a scary blink, but he's back on the track,
okay.
And that worried me as well. But he does beat Connor Horn off pit lane, and they'll rejoin the racetrack. There goes Scioli, the first to
blink.
blink.
I like the call from the 73 camp, Hunter, because coming into tonight, what did Jake Nichols have? A 35-point cushion to the cut line. You can be aggressive, and that's an aggressive pit call to run it a little longer, have fresher tires for the back end of the race. And you'll see Jake Nichols get a lot more aggressive here inside of 30 to go, as they are at 33 to go right now. Tyler Nichols, now your leader. He's the one that's going to decide to run this long and trap a lot of guys a lap down. He's got 8th down, a lap down right now.
So there's the 73, and the 1 and 42 go around is outside. And he's going to lose a couple seconds to him. I just don't know that there's enough time. Again, we've seen it take 15 or 20 laps before how you drive really starts to affect your pace. So I don't know that the 73's got enough time, but I've said that before, and he just always manages to be there at the end. And the 1 and 42 have to drive their tires pretty hard to catch up to the 24 and the 7, who are both ahead of them on the strategy. The 7 in particular. He's won 5 times before, the most of anybody this season. Is this the winning strategy?
I mean, if a caution doesn't come out, it will be, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting because the aggression is still going to be throughout those that are outside of the top 10 trying to get whatever positions that they can, but I don't know. Still a lot of unanswered questions here with 30 to go.
Cut line really shakes up with the pit cycle right now. Connor Horn in by a point over JT Poole. I'm impressed. Douglas Newbigin had a really good cycle now through the pit sequence. He was 3 seconds faster than JT Poole, whom he's now ahead of on pit lane. 40 seconds versus 37. And now the 71 rides 12th with still, what is that? 4 drivers left to make their final stop. Weishart will cycle to the lead because he made his final stop about 2 laps before Springer did, which was after the window did open to make it to the end. But with 20 laps, or no, let's see, he's got about 11 to 12 laps more on his tires, does the 33, than man chasing him, James Scioli.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out. There's still a handful of drivers left to make their stop, maybe just holding out for a yellow, which is still a possibility. We've got some drivers racing pretty hard. Seth Knoll putting some distance on Connor Horn and running the 24 down.
They just unlapped themselves from Tyler Nichols right there.
And now we play the waiting game to see which strategy. Again, I mentioned in the intro that rolling the dice and sometimes being deceiving can often pay out. And the one in particular, beating the 73 to pit lane. I like that call. I like the speed that he's had. I'm still holding out that this one car could be a threat. And the 24 also, he's probably not going to win this race, but for a non-playoff competitor, he is absolutely putting on a show. Behind him, crash. The 42 gets drilled.
Oh, that was Springer. That was intentional. That was as intentional as it gets. I mean, he went from the top all the way down to the bottom.
Car is destroyed. Connor Horn is destroyed.
Unless there was some sort of catastrophic failure from Springer's car, that was 100% intentional.
I don't think so. I'm not seeing anything on the webcam that's telling me otherwise, and I think Ricky Springer just earned himself a vacation.
Wow. And guys, I gotta say, I don't understand it at all. I mean, the 42 hadn't done anything to anybody all night that was, in my opinion, at all deserving of that.
Well, so last week it was a 609 Motorsports car that took Ricky out of the playoffs. I get the feeling this is probably a revenge for doing so, and if so, that's a pretty cheap way to get it.
But if it's not the guy that did it, why are you crashing him? Right? I mean, that is...
Well, Connor Horn was easily into the playoffs after Ricky Springer fell out with the point situation.
Yeah, sure, but I don't get that. I mean, that's just blatant disrespect to your competitors, and
I agree.
That is reprehensible.
Ricky Springer earned himself a vacation for 1 week at minimum, and we may not see him the rest of the season.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I get having a clash with a driver and dealing with it yourself, but when it extends to teammates that weren't directly responsible for those actions, that's unacceptable in my opinion. But still a week for it to come back around. It does shift some things here in the top 5, or it will when things cycle out.
Keep an eye on that point sheet that we're using in the production side of things for when this cycles through, because Connor Horn's going to lose. He's down to 26. He's going to lose 2 more spots as Jacob Bell and Travis Beckner are still on the racetrack. Travis got a spot on Cosmin Yonishiru and now on Connor Okrezik as well. So even though Beckner's been behind the cut line ever since his incident earlier on in the race, he is clawing back what he can to stay in the fight.
I have another spot on Springer too. He's done for the night, but he could still get another spot from Jacob Bell. Bell's only 11 laps down. Beckner is 12, so he could potentially pick up another spot here, and depending on how bad the damage is on the 42 of Horn, if he comes back out or not, that could also be another spot gained for Beckner.
That car isn't going anywhere. That 42 car is destroyed.
With a disqualification like race control handed out, I think that nullifies all the points that the 51 gets. So anyone behind him in the results on iRacing should move ahead of him regardless. That is how it has worked before. We watched Jordan Martin having a little battle here with Dwayne Culberson. This is a battle for second, but these drivers, the top 3, have yet to pit. These guys praying for a yellow. They're on 56 lap tires. They're right at the edge of the fuel window.
I'm actually impressed how far these guys have been able to go on fuel.
Yeah, 56 laps now, which is kind of at the upper end of their window from what we discussed at the top of the show. But guys, Douglas Newbegin, let's talk about him for a second. He's going to cycle out to be top 5 here potentially.
He will cycle 5th.
That is a pretty good recovery from a night that didn't start so well for the 71. 30th place, third to last. And here he is in a position to cycle up to 5th place. And with trouble for some others in the playoffs, that is going to be a good fortune for the 71. He'll still have to perform next week.
Whoa, gotta make sure to bring the car home in one piece first.
As it stands right now, it's a wash. Came in, was it 15 below or 10 below, excuse me? And he's 13 below as they run. So he needs to get a couple more spots, which he will get 3 more once these guys decide to finally pit. I believe someone did peel off. No. Scioli has worked his way by Culberson and Martin. We saw in our picture there. Wiseheart going after... Or no, he's losing a spot here to Cedric Hunter, and he's going to get attacked by Skylar Shackelford. This is a battle for 11th.
18 laps to go next time by as there goes the 88 on by. Seth Knoll making his way around the 81 and the 11. These are cars that have not yet pit. So Seth Knoll still about 1.5 seconds behind James Scioli. There's a 4-lap difference there in tires. Last time by there, he was 0.3 quicker than the 7. Is that going to be enough?
I don't know. We could see some of these guys that are still working their way through traffic who might have a shot at contend. The 73's been clocking some pretty fast laps and it's been making some moves. I don't know if there's going to be enough time though, but the one he could definitely find the pace to do so is go on board with Michael Kern. Well, this is Ryan Hartz, but looking out to Michael Kern.
Yeah, the 24 and the 3 having a pretty good scrap here for position.
Tell you who's turned way worse. JT Poole has not driven forward with his competitors like Douglas Newbegin. I mentioned he came out just behind Douglas, and JT's still mired in 13th.
Yeah, this
and
is
in the mix of this battle where they're trying to pass Wiseheart on older tires.
This has not gone to plan at all. I mean, he was up in the mix, leading the laps. Oh, look out!
Oh no, that's going to be a caution unless they save it.
Oh, Dwayne
What a
Culberson.
save.
Wow.
They do.
Well done, Dwayne. He just kind of got rear-ended there. I think the speed difference going off into the corner was just a lot more than I think everybody expected. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Culberson's doing. I thought he would go up.
Yeah, I think he just failed to realize that the 81 was just on that much older tires. With the chaos that's going on around him, I'm sure he wasn't fully aware of what was going on. But a huge save, though JT might have wanted the caution there.
Down the back straightaway and down the front straightaway. Tyler Nichols takes 15 laps to go. 64 laps on this fuel tank and set of tires.
You can't go much further. You're not able to save an extra 15, 20 laps in the tank. It's just not possible.
No, but again, I think just holding out for a yellow and almost got one, so.
He's still 12 seconds ahead of James Scioli. Impressive. Wow, what a move.
Wow, here comes the 73. He's trying to make up some ground. The lap times that he's been clicking, other than that previous lap, he ran a half second quicker than the 7 of Scioli, who will start leader. And he's still looking underneath the 3 of Hart's out there.
That got pretty close down the front straightaway. They almost came together, the 73 and the 3.
I'm having flashbacks to last season.
But this is only for what would cycle to be third because James Scioli and Seth Knoll are your leaders, but it's not too far behind to find that 73 and 3. And these guys are all on pretty equal tires for the most part, couple laps separate, but Seth Knoll is running slower than Jake Nichols, but both are running faster than James Scioli. It's about to come to a head here, guys.
I don't know if we could check in on laps led for our playoff drivers. I'm curious who might have the bonus point for the most laps led currently in the race, whether that be Seth Knoll or James Scioli right now.
It's definitely Seth Knoll.
I'm going to say JT Poole's led a good bit of laps, too. I don't know if
Nope, only 6. He was up there a bunch, but I think the 1 has been up there the most consistently.
Yeah, he's probably going to go to the 1, which he's right on the cusp. He was down coming in, and he's now got himself above the cut line with the chaos that has happened tonight.
And the 41 just hit pit lane, so this is your top 5 cycled. It's Scioli, Knoll, Nichols, Hartz, and Kurhan. Here comes Kurhan to the inside of the 3, who's on the oldest tires, except for Scioli out front.
Oh, and the
Travis
1
has worked himself at 26th. He's still gaining points.
The 1 is still gaining on the 7, and so is the 73. Seth Knoll might be making a move for the lead here down the back. He is caught up with the 7 of Scioli. If he gets a good enough run, he might send it down low.
Here he comes. He's got a big run, and Jake Nichols isn't close enough to take advantage of these guys side by side. We're coming to 10 laps to go. Here comes Seth Knoll to the inside. Scioli tried to cover, but it's not enough. Oh, they're going to touch.
Wow.
10 laps to go.
That's Beckner.
Good on Travis to get out of the way and let the leaders battle it out. Now Jake Nichols is closing the gap behind these two as they run side by side. Knoll's going to get clear of James, and he's going to slide up. The 1 has the lead. That might be the set sail he needs. Put some goodbyes on, and he is gone.
Well, this is great because he put a car between himself and Jake Nichols, who I think is the most dangerous driver at the tail end of this race right now. 9 laps to go. Seth Knoll showing strength that I don't think anybody expected coming into the playoffs here.
Absolutely not, and he's trying to jog away from the 7, and he's got to hope that gets into a strong battle, the 7 does, with the 73 of Nichols, as he's not out of it just yet either, as we're coming to 7 to go, but all smooth sailing so far for the 1. Can he hold it off?
As they run, this win would lock Seth Knoll into a race for a championship. JT Poole would be 10 points below his teammate Ryan Hartz. Travis Beckner has clawed back to 11 points out from the cut, now running 26th, and he's got a battle on his hands as Jacob Bell's on the same lap as him. Connor Horn, Kyle, has returned to the racetrack.
How?
Crucially, he has returned to the racetrack as Connor O'Kresick was able to reconnect to the session after potentially an event because of the storms on the East Coast. And Connor was about to lose a spot to Kresick in a few laps, so he got himself back out there, save a point. Every point matters here in the playoffs.
I can't believe that car was able to be fixed that quickly. But alas, he's back out and might be able to grab a spot.
Got the required done. He spent 8 minutes on pit road. Kurhan takes this position away from Hartz.
Yeah, that was a pretty spicy battle. But Seth Knoll, guys, think back to the Area 500. Did anybody expect him to not only make it to the Final 4, but lock himself in? I know we've got 6 laps to go, but even if he doesn't do it, he was close to it. I mean, it's just been an unbelievable playoffs for Seth Knoll. And Scioli and Nichols are going to give him a run for his money here, but this 1 is so strong. He's
the fastest of the top 5 right now. And he's just too hot. I mean, this run that he's put himself on, Kyle, is impressive, and he's showing his strength. That's why I picked him to win tonight's race. I'm holding out. 5 to go. We're sitting pretty right now, Hunter.
Oh, well, my pick's sitting pretty in 3rd, but obviously I would like it to be a couple of spots better, but still the potential for a last lap pass or even a pass within the next handful of laps here as the 7's still trying to run down this 1.
I don't think anybody expected the 07 to be running this well either, and with his elimination last week, that's going to be a bit of a sore topic.
Case of what could have been there.
Yeah, totally. And Seth Knoll is not losing ground to Scioli or Nichols. I think if the 73 can clear the 7, we might have a different story on our hands, and here he comes. Run out of time, though, for the 73 to run Knoll back down.
JT Poole is bleeding points to the cut line right now, down to 14th.
If he can get around Scioli, he might have enough time to do so. He's going to have to complete the pass here, though.
Even then, it's still half a second. He'd have to gain a 10th a lap at least. Clears the 7. 3 laps to go. Seth Knoll leads the way.
Jake keyed up. Sent a friendly hand out the window to James and made it pretty painless for the 73 to get by the 7. I don't know, guys. I don't know that Jake is a 10th faster a lap here as they're coming to 2 to go.
Gonna have to be more than that, actually. 10th and a half, 2/10 a lap now. Through 3 and 4, all the drivers behind Seth Knoll running the middle groove to try to find something. 2 laps remain here, Hunter, at Las Vegas.
And Michael Curran might have a shot here at the podium spot.
Skyoli's going to take his line away.
Good battle
here.
here.
Some dirty air on the nose of the 24, and then, man, Michael's going to turn underneath James. Can he make it work down here in 3 and 4? No, he has to slot in behind.
This battle is going to continue all the way to the checkered flag as they roll through 3 and 4. Seth Knoll in the number 1. He won his way through at Chicagoland, locked himself into round 2 of the playoffs. And the Area 500 winner, he was nowhere all season, in the mix, but not dominant. In the playoffs, he has been a force to be reckoned with. And every round of this playoff championship is absolutely cutthroat, eliminating so many drivers week after week. But this week, Seth Knoll, the number 1, as the battle rages on behind him for 3rd. Seth Knoll will be one of your final 4 competitors in the Area Cup Series finale. Seth Knoll wins at Las Vegas. Wow.
What a run.
Skyoli beat Curhan by 37 thousandths of a second. Little dramas behind him as they come across the line. But Seth Knoll, Mr. Where Did He Come From? He will be competing for a championship at the finale at Homestead on August 21st. And I think everybody has to circle him as a favorite.
He'd be my pick right now. That's why I chose him tonight. The streak is just too hot right now, guys, for the 1 car.
He has won as many races this season now as Jake Nichols has. And that yellow on the number background is going to change to a shade of green next week. He is locked in. He has nothing to worry about at Richmond. And he burns it down at Las Vegas.
The death of the race, Travis Beckner lost a position. They threw another driver 12 laps down. Jacob Bell, which that puts him now 11 below the cut unofficially. He's got a lot of work to do. But the man that does not have any work to do, Kyle,
Yes.
Seth Knoll.
Seth Knoll is in the best position of anybody, locked in. Here is a look at your finishing order here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and it's Seth Knoll, the top driver. Jake Nichols, James Skyoli, Michael Curhan, Ryan Hartz wrap up the rest of your top 5. Douglas Newbegin rallying for an 8th, and with some challenging nights for Travis Beckner and Connor Horn, that's going to put him in a better spot. Still below the cut line, but better than he was coming into the night.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining race to watch, but JT Poole not having the finish that he wanted for, especially after having the great first half of the race. Some good runs here from Garrick Ranch, just a spot shy of the top 10. Greg Mitchell, Ed Robertson, after that massive moment on the backstretch, rallies for 13th, but really the talk is outside the top 20 as Connor Horn, after the events that unfolded with himself and Ricky Springer, puts the 42 in almost a must-win situation heading into Richmond next week.
Yeah, and looking down the rest of the order, you'll have to feel for Cameron Hearn as well, taken out with an incident that he couldn't really do much to avoid. But Eric, wild race. Lots of different leaders, lots of differing strategy. But Seth Knoll, again, showing that he is capable of winning a championship. And Jake Nichols, the relative strength is still pretty high, but it's not the dominant force that we've seen in seasons past.
No, and Ricky, like I said, Ricky Springer came on this way last season. Now, he made it to the championship didn't have a good showing in Nashville, but I'm confident Seth Knoll can really take the challenge here to Jake Nichols. Seth boasts a over 6,000 iRating here on the oval side of things, so he's definitely got the skill to back it up as well with Jake Nichols, who a former Coke Series driver, as I may remind most of our viewers out there. Yeah, that challenge is going to be a fun one to watch in 2 weeks, Kyle.
Well, James Scioli, still the winningest driver on the season. He brings his number 7 car home in third. And James, tonight, third place for you in the number 7. Had a shot at the win, just kind of slipped away late in the going. But I think everyone is pointing at perhaps you, perhaps Jake Nichols, and now definitely Seth Knoll as a favorite heading into Homestead here in a couple of weeks. First off, congratulations on the third. Tonight, it was wild out there. How was it from your perspective in your number 7 Roasted Gems Chevy?
Yeah, thank you. It was a little sketchy late in the runs. I was really struggling with rear grip late, so when I short pitted there, I just tried to save it and see if I could get far enough away, but they were able to get so many cars in a line and just draft right up to me like it was nothing. So fortunately weren't able to hang on to it, but third's a good run. Way better. Obviously last round got wrecked in the first race, so happy with a third. Should be pretty comfortable heading into Richmond, and then hopefully we can head to Homestead. Jake and Seth are definitely going to be tough to beat. We'll see who the fourth one ends up being, but I feel like one of us three could win week in and week out, so we'll see how that goes. Haven't really run much at Homestead lately, so looking forward to that.
Well, it has been a fun race to watch, but Richmond short track racing next week. As far as things go, you're ahead of the cut line by quite a bit, so feeling pretty good, I'm sure, to move on. But is there still a little bit of nervousness heading into that last race before the final race?
Yeah, definitely still a little bit of nervousness. We've been getting some pretty good car counts, so you never know if like I get wrecked and then somebody new wins who was outside looking in. It can turn on you in a hurry. So definitely just got to keep our heads down, going to Richmond, and keep doing the same thing. Look for wins, try and race up front like we did all day today, and just try and keep doing that. And don't get too ahead of ourselves. Don't be trying to look for Homestead when Richmond's still in the way.
Well, one race at a time. James Scioli, third place tonight in the Roasted Gems Chevy. James, thanks so much for chatting with us, and good luck to you next week at Richmond.
Thanks, guys. I just want to give a big shout out to you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the race we put on. It was pretty fun. Cars stayed close together, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Thanks to the admins. I know we had some interesting things going on in the middle of that one, so appreciate them for handling that. And then huge shout out to Lucky Ducks. I think we extended our team lead there, so hopefully we can keep that going the rest of the season. Roasted Gems Coffee, No Kid Hungry, Ology Brewing, and RS Button Boxes. Thanks to all them for being on the car, and we'll talk at you guys later.
Yeah, well earned, James. Congrats.
Thanks, guys.
Well, Jake Nichols, last year at this time, coming into Las Vegas, had 8 wins. It was your 9th win of the season last year. When we came to this racetrack tonight, you'll have to settle for second. And I think you're probably thinking what we're all thinking. Where did that one come from?
Well, I knew he had pace all race. There's a few of us that either showed our hand or just kind of were laying low a little bit, just trying to get to the long run. That we finally got there, obviously, to get the green flag pit stops. But I knew it was going to be tricky getting through traffic. I wanted to try to get at least one lap on Seth and on the others, because getting through traffic, it's not hard, really, but there's a few guys that it might not be towards me or just in general, but they don't really get that they have a disadvantage on tires, and just letting someone go is better. So they'll just race you, just pinch you. And in reality, they're hurting themselves just as much as the guy they're racing, but it's fine. Seth had a great pace all race. Same with James and Curhan there. Curhan always shows up around playoff time. I know he's not in the playoffs anymore, but he always really shows his hand and has good pace. But we'll take it. I would assume this probably locks me in.
Yes.
Not necessarily. 'Cause Seth winning kind of shakes that up a little bit. But either way, Richmond, we ran okay there last year. Obviously, we didn't make a single green flag pass for position en route to our 5th, but we'll take it in our Solar Flare Racing Camaro. Obviously, it's not first, but at the end of the day, I just want to lock into Final 4 and save up the W for Homestead.
Well, you are going to be locked in with 47 points above the cut line. So, Jake, congratulations. You'll be fighting for a championship as if it wasn't a surprise to anybody. But a great strong run again tonight. 2nd place for the number 73 Solar Flare Chevy. Congrats, and we'll see you at Richmond.
See you then. Thank you.
And Seth Knoll, 3rd win on the season. And Seth, race calendar started with a win back at the Area 500, and all of a sudden a win at Chicagoland and a win here at Las Vegas. The 1.5 miles as of late have been kind to you, but you've locked yourself in now. You could completely ignore Richmond next week. The focus is on Homestead. First of all, congratulations, and you're really fighting for a championship. That's got to feel great.
It feels good to lock in. But Richmond's the home track, so that's a big deal. We're still going for the win next week. But yeah, big moment to advance ourselves into the next round, put ourselves in Homestead. Last season, we didn't even make the playoffs. Did some controversy wrecking Ricky at New Hampshire, but that's last year. We're in the Final Four. So we're going to try and go to Homestead, and we'll see who makes the cut after Richmond. I know Jake and James got a big advantage, and the cut line's going to probably be close between, I would assume, Ryan and JT. So we'll see who we're racing in Homestead.
Yeah, it's going to be really tight. Looks like the cut line is right now between Ryan Hartz, Travis Beckner, and JT Poole, all within about 11 points of each other. So that's going to be a fun one to watch, Seth. Nothing to worry about next week at the home race, so you can focus on going out there and just having fun. But good luck to you. Congratulations, another victory on the season at a critical time for your championship hopes.
Thank you. Got to thank the sponsors: Calusa Pines Landscaping, Thompson Pipe Group, Rick's Hot Sauce, Celsius Area Shop, Black Buffalo, Holston River Machine, BG Creative, Huckett Films, Miller Racing. We got it done. We're on.
Got it done. Seth Knoll wins at Las Vegas. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, boys.
All right, guys, that wraps things up here from Las Vegas. This was a thrilling race as far as lead changes go. 3 wide, 4 wide at times, a little bit of drama as well deeper in the field. And the end of the season for some, potentially. But Eric, recapping things, it was exciting to say the least, but we now know at least 2 of our Final Four. There'll be Seth Knoll and Jake Nichols. James Scioli almost locked as well. And it's just that 4th and final spot that has yet to be determined.
Yeah, as long as Jake Nichols makes a start next week, he's locked in. So I agree with you. He's pretty much locked. Same thing with James Scioli. He's 40 above the cut leaving tonight. You know, disappointed with the blemish on the race we saw, but putting that aside, what an incredible drive from Seth Knoll, proving he is absolutely a force to be reckoned with here down the stretch. I was impressed with Douglas Newbigging. He battled back from a poor qualifying effort to at least maintain. Now he's 15 out going into the next race, which is at Richmond. And like you said, Ryan Hart's only 11 above. Can't be comfortable with that. We saw the chaos that happened tonight and the shenaniganry as well, Hunter, that could absolutely flip the playoff race on its head. Don't expect to see that in Richmond next week, but it is a short track, 3/4 mile short track, a fun one to drive, and going to be a tough one for these drivers.
It will definitely be interesting to say the least, because what they say about short tracks, short tracks, short tempers, and we had short tempers here tonight, although a little later into the run, but still some scores to be settled as we head into Richmond next week, where they have 7 drivers vying for the final 3 spots, and the only one locked into the championship 4 was our race winner tonight, Seth Knoll, picking up win number 3 on the season, and gonna have to sell this one out. 160 laps next Monday night at Richmond.
And before we head out tonight, race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. That's it for Las Vegas tonight. We'll see you from Richmond, Virginia next week. But we've still got 2 more races this week, the Area Truck Series tomorrow night and the Florida State Builders Pro Series on Thursday. We'll see you there right here from Las Vegas, Nevada.